So glad to have you here today. Welcome to the masterclass. We have very interesting individuals coming to the stage very soon. The founding director of Machine A, which is a concept boutique store in the UK. So kind of like your Grey Velvet, your Alaras, those kind of stores. And a stylist that you guys know. And she has worked with very famous, cool people, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, just to name a few. So let me quit talking and bring onto stage Anna Trevelyan. Thank you. And Stavros Karelis. Anna! Stavros. Cool. All right.
Wow.
Welcome to Lagos.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. All right.
Hello.
So while we get that figured out, welcome. Let's talk about Machine A. For all of you out there, it is a store in the UK that they both own, and Anna is the fashion buyer. Stavros is the founder. So let them talk about it and introduce themselves.
Cool. You should go. Okay. Hi everyone. So as you said, we're coming from London. We created Machine A back in 2013. It was a place. It's a small independent store, which basically we wanted to feature as creative talent, emerging designers, graduates. Overall, a space that has to do with a lot of creativity. And we took that as the basis, and then actually, we created a model where, we start mixing all the brands together in the same rail, and we took a very generalist approach to everything. And it was quite surprising back in the day to do that in a store. But then since then, we kind of carried on doing what we believe very much that we want to do, and we're feeling that it was missing. Awesome. And this is when it was created with Anna.
All right.
Your experience.
So I'm Anna Trevelyan. I'm primarily a stylist, but I have become involved with the store from the beginning. Stavros and I met he did sort of a 1-year version of Machine A. And at that time, I was working on Lady Gaga's styling team. So
you met him while you were working on a styling team?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was always looking for new, crazy designers because we had to make her like 5,000 outfits a day on average. Wow. And I would always come into Machine A and see Stavros and see the brands that he had, and then suggest brands to him and be like, oh my God, you should see this designer. They would be great. You would love to work with them. And then we just started working together from there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can hear too well, but I know that there is a video showing the work that Anna and Stavros have been involved in. So we might have a look at the video so you get a little better of a feel of what they do.
I want to see that.
Yeah, yeah. So while we wait for the, okay, so here are some of the brands. Rihanna, when you think Rihanna, look, she's wearing the blue Rihanna dress. That's cool. Is that you? Yep. All right, very brief. I don't know if you guys caught all those brands, but all the high-end street brands, streetwear brands, as they call it. The millennials, we dress a little different than our fashion past. And it seems like your store has a lot of these really high-end brands, like the Raf Simons, which we know from the A$AP Rockies. But then you also have brands that are not as well known.
Yeah.
So talk to us about how important it is to find new designers, new fresh blood, and incorporate it on the same platform as these bigger brands.
I mean, I think, like I say, that's really where we started.
Yeah.
We were initially so inspired by young designers, and especially in London, there's such a wealth of design talent, like all over, but in London, they really encourage like creativity, a unique point of view.
Yeah.
And we were so inspired by that. So that was probably more important to us at first than having the bigger brands there.
Yeah.
I mean, in London, we're very, very lucky because we have some of really good universities like St. Martin's, Royal College of
the
Arts.
universities,
Yeah,
yeah.
so the universities play such a big part into what we do because there's so much amazing talent coming from every country in the world, to London to study. And that was basically where we're looking at and where we're very, very involved with. Also is British Fashion Council has taken a very, very close relationship with all the emerging talents, supporting them in so many incredible ways through different committees, and which we are part of. So it was so normal for us to go down that route. And of course, thinking about emerging designers and graduates, it's a very risky thing to do, but also a very exciting thing to do.
Because you take a chance on them.
You do.
This is their first run.
You do, and also, you have to think about how a young designer that probably very little people know of, and how you actually, make them way more known, and how you create the customer bases or the following for this brand. But what is really amazing, and I think this is how fashion has changed so much, is that it's not so much only about product anymore. Of course, product is very, very important, and it has to be very well made, very well finished, but it's also everything attached around it. So it's the creative vision, the visuals, lookbook editorials, the message, what the brand stands for. And I think this is what we try to do at Machine A so far, is not just showing a good collection, but also try as much as possible to show the whole world of a young designer in the best possible way and through collaborations. And this is why I think Anna's work and my work has come together and worked in a very good way for Machine A.
Cool.
I think also what's so exciting about young designers is it's something a lot of people can relate to.
Yes.
Maybe if you look at Prada, it seems unrelatable, it seems untouchable, it seems like something that you can't achieve. But the young designers, that's your peers. You're part of that.
Yes.
You're with them as they're designing and as they're growing. So it's a really inclusive experience, and something that I think is so important for younger generation. We don't always want to be dripping in high brands all the time.
Sometimes you want a little bit of the high and a little bit of the low,
mix it up.
You encourage it all. Okay, so let's discuss inclusivity in the fashion world. As you all know, we have our Nigerian designers and models that are doing really well internationally. Maiwa Nicholas did Victoria's Secret fashion show a couple days back, which is huge for any model. So we get to see a Nigerian on an international catwalk, and it's like, oh, great, as creatives or models or designers, it's like you too can attain that.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, how important is representation in the fashion world? How important is seeing yourself? And what are you guys, what is your ethos on that? How are you working towards more inclusivity?
I would say it's...
I think
I would
you
say
should go first.
It's hugely important from a styling perspective. Creatively, I'm always so inspired by everyone around the world, from every place, every color, every size, every gender identity, every sexuality. We should all be included and everyone should be represented. I can't express how important it is that this, which is happening now more and more, continues to happen.
Right.
In all of our casting, we always be completely diverse in every way.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing, to be honest.
So yeah, I guess the best way for you is to use different models, different ethnicities to make your work shown.
And also, I would really encourage designers to be making clothes in not just sample size.
Aha, please say that again for those in the back that might not have heard. Listen up, designers.
No, I would really encourage designers to be making clothes in not just sample size, because more and more we're seeing diversity within size, and we really need to have access to clothes that look great on these girls. And boys. It's super important and beautiful. It's beautiful to see.
Well said.
I completely, absolutely agree with everything Anna just said. From my own perspective, thinking about Machine A, back in the visuals we saw one very interesting one that I would like to talk about in a bit, but there is a very is a map that Business of Fashion created, and he said the feature is basically about the stores worldwide that they're connecting mostly with the Generation Z, the millennials. It's this one actually, what we're looking at the moment. It's a very interesting map to see, and it's not just because Machine A is in there, but there are like all these like cool stores that what they do pretty much is connecting with this generation. But what is very important about this generation is all these messages as well, because you know they stand for all this, and they will go to places to shop, connect with, you know, they want like to belong to something which is greater than just buying a product, which is greater than just looking good, is also, you know, being part of something that means something. And at the moment, it's very, very important worldwide to be represented, to be inclusive, to be diverse, and also, you know, to be culturally appropriate. So I think all these messages are super, super important, not just from an editorial perspective, not just from a retail point of view, but overall for our society and for the younger generation of people.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, the map is not up anymore. This map that was put up earlier shows like the stores around the world that are influencing culture, like youth culture, fashion culture. Machine A is one of the stores on there. We have our own stores like that, like Alara. You know, these concept places that allow different designers come all under one roof, whether they're very famous or not so famous, so that people can come in and see the different types of work and just be a part of the culture and not be, you know, secluded that way. All right, so let's get to the fun stuff. Let's talk about Lady Gaga. Well, no, that was fun too, you know. But celebrities are like really exciting, I'm sure. Do you guys want to hear about Lady Gaga? Okay. Do you want to hear about Rihanna? See, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna ask, do you know Rihanna? I mean, you've worked with her, but can you like call her on the phone and be like, hey?
I wouldn't call her on the phone. She's Rihanna. Even if she's my best friend, I would be like too in awe of her.
Too scared, yeah. Okay, so what was it like working with her? First of all, what projects have you worked on with her that we would know?
I styled a few videos with her, and definitely one of my favorite jobs I've ever done was I did the work video.
So she styled the work video, ladies and gentlemen. That whole crochet see-through situation Rihanna had on. Well done, by the way.
It was so fun. We went to Canada, and we created like a big dance hall party in a jerk chicken shop in Canada, but it was actually snowing. It was freezing cold.
Oh, wow, and she has like no clothes on. Great. All right, so we also know you were part of the creative team for Lady Gaga at the height of her fame.
Yeah.
So could you tell us what that was like?
I would
and when that was as well.
That must have been like 2009.
Okay.
Right? Because that's when I first met you.
This is how we first met.
Yeah.
That's how you first met.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, I mean, that was one of the most insane times of my life. I don't think I've ever worked harder, ever.
Really?
And since doing that, nothing is a challenge. You can ask me anything, and I'm like, okay, it's easy. Because we just did so much crazy work, but it was so fun.
Were you on tour with her?
I didn't go around on tour, but we did so many events and videos, and it was really inspiring. She's an incredible artist.
So, apart from working with the celebrities, can you tell me more of your more memorable career moments?
Oh my
Something
God, so
exciting.
many. Well, Machine A is so exciting to me.
Well, yes.
I love that it's been like our baby for 8 years. So that's really exciting, and I cannot wait to see where it's going to grow in the future. We have so many plans, so I can't wait for you all to see what's going to happen.
Great.
My career highlights are not necessarily to do with the work that I'm producing, but the fact that I just get to travel around and experience the world, like being here, experiencing different cultures, meeting different people every day. That's the highlight of my life. Like, I'm so grateful to be in that position and learn and meet people and introduce people from one side of the world to the other and create collaborations. Like, that's really incredible.
So cool. All right, Stavros. So we know that you don't have a fashion background. Do you want to explain to us exactly what got you into the fashion world, and what's keeping you there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like any fashion background in terms of like studies or, I mean, I have a degree in law school and then I went,
school?
yeah, in political science.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I went for my master's for international studies.
Cool.
And it was a period of time in London where there wasn't any space where there were a lot of creativity going on. It
Okay.
was a very specific time in London where you could have, everything that you would see, it wasn't as exciting, at least to my eyes, but also to our friends, I think, you know, which were a lot of designers that were just graduating at the point. I was looking all these like really amazing collections and what they were doing, and then I realized that they were nowhere to be seen or nowhere to buy these collections. So we started the first experiment pretty much, and then without boring you too much into detail, we went to build the new concept store of Machine A. To me, the most exciting part, you know, and of course the most challenging part and the most difficult part at the same time, all these things go together always,
They do.
is how, you know, you take a graduate collection, how you take an emerging designer, and then how do you build everything around them and make them to have a successful career, and how they can further their lives, make secure brands, move forward, and create that type of great relationship. So yes, you take the risk, but then it pays you off 10 times, 100 times more when, you know, I meet these designers after like 2 or 3 years, or even a year actually, you know, since we picked them up. Now it's going super quick. And they come into me and they say, oh my God, I have 40 stockies, 50 stockies, 100 stockies of my favorite shops all over the world. I have these amazing things happening in my life. I have these amazing collaborations. And I'm very, very proud of that. And this is what it actually keeps me in that job. And I think I'm always going to do that because that's what is very dear to me.
That's cool.
Stavros is also just really a pioneer. Like, he really
Yeah.
made that happen with young designers. No one was doing that before him, and he's so supportive. He mentors them, he guides them.
Yeah.
So a lot of designers really have Stavros to thank, and also the industry for the sudden burst of interest in young designers over the past few years.
Gatekeepers are so necessary in the industry, especially nice ones who are willing to pull and mentor. So, do you get a lot of requests from emerging designers? They must rush you.
Yes.
They rush.
Yes, no, we do, and we
Yeah?
try as much as possible to help, you know, with any possible way, because sometimes, you know, I know that I'm not the right person for them, you know,
Right.
I'm not, Machine A is not the right establishment for them, you know,
Right.
so it might be someone else that is right for them. So I would make my phone calls, I will try to help, you know, as much as possible. But yes, we do take a lot of requests. And what I always try, first of all, what I always try to say, and this is a very honest thing that I'm going to say here, is that are you sure? Are you 100% sure that you want like to do your own brand? Explain me the reasons. Why? It's a tough one,
Yeah.
you know, and people
Yeah.
should know that designers, emerging designers, whoever is overall entering the fashion industry is a tough business.
Yeah.
It's a huge competition. However, you know, it's all relative to your expectations of the brand. So in this industry, what I learn about and what I'm trying to learn and try to keep remembering is not so much about when I'm going to have my success. You know, it's actually how I'm going to last in this industry, how I'm going to make every single time better, and how I can have a long-term stability. Success will come. The thing, if you work hard, if you have a great idea in your mind, success will come. The thing is how you remain that and how you become better, and through that platform, whatever platform anyone creates, is how you give back to society and help other people around you. This is what I think is super, super important for an emerging designer and a graduate as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So with the success of Machine A, is there going to be oh, this is such a dry joke. I heard it in my head and I stopped laughing. A Machine B?
B, C,
Have you
D,
heard that?
E, F, of
like,
course.
are you going to open up branches? You know, we could use with the Machine N, you know, Nigeria,
Oh
Lagos
my God, I would
is
love that.
quite popping, you know.
Yeah, I
Are you
mean,
going to expand?
there are a lot of plans for
Yeah.
Machine A.
We have a lot of plans.
Yeah.
Cool.
There are a lot
Good.
of plans for Machine A, but it's, as I said again, I like to think Machine A as a physical space, but also I like to think Machine A as an ideal and a space of ideas. It doesn't, I'm not, believing always, that the time presence and the physical space is the most important thing. It's ideas can travel, ideas can get out of a small space, and they can become so great and so big. And you can collaborate, you can travel, you can be international, even being located, like in a small city or in a big city. Nothing holds you back at this stage. You have online, you have access to absolutely everything around you. So yes, but to answer to your question, it will be probably, we'll keep the branding in place, Machine A, but
keep it as A.
we will develop it for sure.
Switch to B. Okay, great. And have you should check out some of the emerging Nigerian designers.
We
as
did
well.
already.
Yeah, that could be very interesting. Okay, so Anna, how often do you change the color of your hair? First of all, when I researched Anna, her hair color was green. And I come today and it's orange. And it seems like that is, you change your hair color a lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
Tell us about your hair color
I just
changing.
always done that since I was a teenager. I never felt like myself without color. So it used to change maybe like every month, but my hair's gonna fall out forever if I keep doing that. So
that's
it's more like
your
every
brand.
year now. Every 6 months to every year,
That's cool.
Every time we Skype or FaceTime or, every single time it's a different color hair. It's like my excitement actually, to see, that's a new one.
That's cool. All right, so the most rewarding thing about what you do within the fashion space, what is it?
God,
I think you kind of already answered that. But
I'm lucky. I'm just really lucky and grateful of everything that has come along our way. I mean, we started about 5 years ago, 6 years ago actually, and there's so many things. I'm extremely grateful, that we have amazing people, with us, because I would never be able to do it by myself if I didn't have Anna, but also if we didn't have Nick Knight and the Show Studio family, because, they supported us since early stages. I had amazing people believing in what we're doing all these years, and without them, we wouldn't be able to do. But I'm guessing that in this lovely audience here, there must be so many people that they won't like to start their own enterprises or they won't like to start their own brands. And I just have to tell you, go for it. If you have the right idea, if you have, that instinct that tells you that this is what I have to do, go and do it. And you will find the way. Luck is going to come on you, and the stars are going to be aligned, and you will go forward. We always believe that ourselves.
And also, don't be afraid to take your time over it. Like sometimes I feel like everyone's looking for instant gratification now, and it takes time, it takes work. If you don't get it straight away, if you make mistakes, we still make mistakes all the time, every day. It's fine.
Jinx.
Like mistakes are what make you better and what make you grow. So I really believe, just work hard and you can, with positivity, and you can achieve whatever you want. Like we would never have thought that this would have happened. We were just playing around.
Yeah.
And now look.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to open the floor for some questions, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone with some questions? Can we get a mic out to our wonderful guests? Yes. All right, I'll just let you pick since you can see them anyways.
Hello, Anna.
Hi there, pretty lady.
Hello, Stavros. Hello. My name is Rhoda.
Hi.
I have a question for Anna and another one for Stavros. Okay. So, to Anna, I would like to ask, how do you handle, let's say, this celebrity temperament? For example, you said you give Lady Gaga like 5,000 outfits a day. So just imagine you come with your 5,000 outfits and she doesn't like 4,999 of them. How do you cope with that? And then for Stavros, what does it take to be mentored by you? That's the question I have. Thank you.
What does it take to be mentored by you?
You go first. I have to think about that.
I mean, I think the way to deal with it best is to just not get stressed. Like, what's the worst that can happen? There's always going to be a solution somehow, and if you don't like 4,999 of my 5,000 outfits, then that's just a bit ridiculous. People need to, I don't know,
man.
just breathe through it. It's always going to finish. It can be a lot of pressure, but it's always a lot of fun. Just stay calm, I would say.
All right, nice one. Next
so
question.
about
Oh,
do you
no,
want
go
me to
ahead.
say?
Go
Yeah,
ahead, go
okay,
ahead,
no
go
worries.
ahead.
So to answer to your question, I don't like so much the word mentor but I can tell you, we have to be friends, and we have to have a good energy together, and we have to believe in the same things. And as soon as that happens, we can work very closely together. And with everyone that I have worked closely with, and we have worked closely with the shop until to this day, we are very close together. We will exchange a lot of emails. It's going to be a lot of pressure, some heated conversations, some really sensitive conversation. So we have to have a great relationship. So I like to think mentorships as friendships that last. So whatever you would do with a friend, this is how you need to approach me as well.
Nice. You should start with a follow back. But you should ask him to follow you back on Instagram. That's the first step. There you go. All right. Any other questions?
It's to you, Travis. What has been...
Hey, wait, hold up. Hi, how are you doing? What's your name?
What's
My
your
name is
name?
Kelvin.
Kelvin. Okay, cool. Go ahead.
It's to you, Travis.
Stavros.
Travis, sorry.
You can call me anything. It's fine. I turn my head. I
What has been the
listen.
technicality of making machine A?
One more
The
time.
technicality, like
The
what
technicality.
the challenges.
The
you
challenges
faced. Yeah.
to make.
Oh God! I mean, we need like another
How much
like
time
2 or
do you
3
guys have?
days for me to answer that question alone. I mean, there have been a lot of difficulties.
Yeah.
Going to the retail landscape, it's a very, very tough and difficult thing to do. If I knew, to be honest with you, like if I had a magic ball and they would show me what would happen in 6, 7 years time in my life, I would think about it twice and 3 times for sure. Not that I'm regretting it, I love it, but it's very, very difficult thing to do because number one is competition, but competition I don't really, again, believe into because I always say that you cannot be competitive with the rest of the environment because this is your first mistake. You start thinking about like how I can be competitive with everything else around me. The reality of things is you have to create something that is you. You have to create something that is niche. And this is the only way that you can succeed. So the challenges were within, how we're building it, if we're making the right choices, if people would understand us. To give you a brief example, we're going to meetings with brands. Right now, we are in a very lucky position because even the big brands, knocking our door and they won't like to collaborate with us because, they see us as a shopping destination. It was a period of time when we're going to the brands, to talk to them, and they were looking at me and they were like, what do you mean that you're mixing our brand with, young designers? What do you mean that we're not going to have our own space? What do you mean that menswear, womenswear are going to be in the same space? So all these were quite a lot of things to overcome, but I had to stick to my guns and I have to do what we both believed in. And I said, you know what, if you don't get it now, you will get it in, I thought it would take us a bit more time, but now they're getting it and I'm happy about that. So yeah, it's a lot of technicalities, but and lots of difficulties, but you can do it as long as you believe it.
Nice.
Oh, thanks for the clapping.
Let's speak on the challenges. Do you want to speak on the challenges, or should we take another?
Yeah, let's do another.
All right, let's take another question.
Hi, it's Stavros. Hi, Anna.
Hey, what's your name?
My
there?
name is Olafola.
Okay.
My question is, what do you look out for when you are collaborating with young designers? And the second question is, are you looking at collaborating with Nigerian designers? What's your perception about Nigerian streetwear brand, fashion brands entirely?
Ooh, good one.
And how do you see the industry? Where do you think the industry is going and the impact on the global
Well, you guys
stage?
just got here. You poor things. Oh, so he.
Thank you.
He wanted to know how you see the Nigerian fashion industry, if you're interested in collaborating with any Nigerian brands. Sorry, what else did you say, Russ?
I said, how do you guys see the Nigerian fashion
We
industry,
got that one.
the streetwear brand, and how do
Yeah.
you see it on a global stage? How do you see the impact
us
of
there?
the industry on the global stage?
For me, one of the reasons I've been desperate to come to Lagos for so long.
Nice.
Yeah, so
That
I'm
is
so
nice
happy to
hear.
be here and meet with you guys. And a lot of my friends in London are actually from Lagos, and there's a huge movement there right now, culturally, creatively related to Lagos and related to Nigeria. There's a lot of photographers, a lot of designers, a lot of stylists, a lot of musicians, curators. It's a whole massive culture that I think suddenly everyone's suddenly seeing and becoming very interested in. So I think Nigerian fashion industry has a big light shone on it at the moment, and we're so excited to be here and be part of that.
Yeah, I completely agree with Anna. I mean, like, only if you think about it, culturally, there is so much inspiration absolutely everywhere. The times that I've seen mood boards, ideas, concepts, and I'm 100% sure the same applies to Anna, there's so many references back to this culture, back to the society. And I think, in terms of like the Nigerian fashion, and I think for the streetwear scene, but overall for the emerging designers, I just think that, you have to embrace it, make it your own thing, showcase it in the best possible way. Yesterday we had some really amazing meetings, with some of the young designers here, which we so much enjoyed about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was really, really great.
Nice.
And everyone was coming from a different background, but
Yeah.
what I really enjoyed mostly about was you have to think small, but the small is big. So when you start putting things together, always think that you're doing like something specific, that I know creative people have like a lot of ideas, but as long as you put it down and you have one strong idea, and then you start building around it, and then you believe in it, and then people start to recognize you because of that strong idea, this is how things become greater and greater and bigger. So overall to say, it's such a great moment. I'm looking so forward to work with a lot of you, and we can do as much as possible, but it's super, super exciting.
Cool. All right, let's take 2 more questions.
Okay.
Where's the... Oh, hi there, lady. What's your
Hi,
name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca. All right.
Okay, so I am a mass communication student of the Pan-Atlantic University.
Sorry, you're a who student?
Mass communication.
Okay, great. Your ears are better than mine.
So I just wanted to ask, what was your innovation behind the Lady Gaga meat costume?
Which costume?
Meat, the
Oh.
costume
my
made
God.
of meat.
I'm a strict vegan. That was not me.
She's
way.
removing her hand from that one.
I was away from that situation,
Really?
but it looked amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, well, no questions from me. Questions from you. Take that behind stage. Get around.
So beautiful, your
She's
kids.
so cute.
Thank you. My question is for you, Travers. My name is Deborah.
All right,
And
Deborah.
then when you were talking, I picked interest because, like you, I have a background in law. I practice law. So I was going to ask you, and I have passion for fashion. I want to build a brand, but I'm just there kind of confused because I'm practicing at the same time. I kind of have, passion for the two, but really, I don't know. Did you abandon law and then probably focus on the fashion? How do I go about it? I'm kind of, naive about, how to go about the fashion. I make clothes, but it's like within, my vicinity, the neighbors
Yeah.
and all that, but I want to take it out there. I want to build. I want to really get there.
Well, first of all, I have to tell you that you have already 2 elements by knowing you only like a few seconds. Number one, you're so much more advanced because you already have a law school degree, which is going to help you in so many different ways that you can think of in any way that you're going to start your own brand or your own enterprise that is fashion related. Because, everyone that thinks about fashion thinks only the creative side of things, but they keep forgetting that there is a really big business part of things, which, you have to be good at it, in order for you to be able, to sustain. Because there's a lot of good creative ideas, but the problem is, if you can run a good business model with that. So to answer to your question, you're already like very, very advanced. Number two, you're also very strong because I can see 2 kids, you have already a law degree, and then you're probably planning to go into a fashion. So that means that, sorry?
She's got 3.
3, wow. Okay, so, so also, that means that whatever you're going to put your mind to, I'm sure it's going to be successful. But, think about it that if you want to get into fashion, think about what you like mostly. What is it very dear to you? Because that's the only thing that is going to keep your head into that for the future. So whatever is very, very close to you, anything that you think that's what it speaks to me, and you believe in it, this is how you're going to be able to do it. And good luck with that. Okay?
All right. We can keep taking questions. Yeah, maybe give the middle aisle some love. They haven't been. Yeah, middle aisle. There we go.
My name is Mona. My question is for Anna. I would like to know how you got your Lady Gaga and Rihanna jobs. How did you market yourself as a stylist to land big jobs like that? That's my question.
Oh, okay. Girl, you might have to say that one more time and use your inside voice or outside voice.
My question is for Anna.
There we
I would
go.
like to know how you marketed yourself or how you landed your styling jobs with Lady Gaga and Rihanna. How did you put yourself out there to get noticed and get those jobs?
Well, with Lady Gaga, I actually was an assistant. So I was an assistant to her stylist and worked like crazy on that for 3 years. And then with that experience and the contacts that I made, assisting is really, really important. It was for me. I made a lot of contacts through that and then began to work with them. And eventually people just start to see your work and people speak about you and hopefully create a unique aesthetic that people are gonna have interest in, and then hopefully people like Rihanna are gonna call you up and ask.
So cool. All right. More questions. We have time. Where's our microphone holder?
Hello.
Hey, how are you? What's your name?
My name is Shinaza.
Chinaza.
Yeah. I want to ask you for Mr. Travis and Anna.
Stavros.
Yes. Your personal style as a person. How has that affected the brand collaborations you have at Machine A?
It's a really good question, actually, that one. It's a very important thing, and yes, you're absolutely right. I mean, style and the personal taste, I would say, not just style, but personal taste is very, very important. I mean, everything we do, both of us, we are very personal into that. However, there is a very big distinction, it's a very big difference between what I personally like for me to wear and what I would buy for the shop. Because, it's not that everything that I'm buying for the shop I can wear myself, because I know that I'm not going to look good at it. Right. So, but it doesn't mean that it stops me from buying the brand. It's more about my vision and the way that I see it personally, how I would like our people, our community, our customers, our friends to show up and dress. But every day is a learning experience for me because, I see around me so many amazing people with amazing style, and that is my constant inspiration. My inspiration is not coming from, best sell-through reports, analyzing data on my laptop. I don't see any, I do see them, typically I have to see them, sorry. But it doesn't mean anything because my job, Anna's job, is to look 6 months ahead. Looking about like what is going to sell in 6 months from now, or what is going to be at that point. If I'm looking only, what's happening right now, I'm going to miss a very important thing which is happening in 6 months' time. So what I'm doing and how I'm cheating time most of the times is having amazing friends around me, people that I admire, like Anna, and also, having like all these amazing, great people and kids and young people around me where, I see them and every day is inspiration for me. And this is where I draw my examples and this is how I carry on for the future of the bank.
Hello, Anna, and I'm Stavros.
Hi there, lady.
I'm Francisca, a founder of Hicks Closet. I'll be addressing this question to the two of you. Okay. At your startup, how did you go about it? What was it that inspired you to go into fashion? Then question number 2, how do you see Nigerian fashion and the European fashion in the next 10 years?
10 years. That's a long projection. Well, first of all, very quick to answer to your question. What inspires me is, the energy. What's happened. I mean, I don't know if I would have done what I did in my life if I wasn't in that specific place and time, and in that city. I owe a lot. I owe everything to London, in that sense, because it was. I'm coming from Greece, so I grew up there. I love my country. So many inspirations are coming from me from that place. But fashion wasn't the strongest, I would say, and the most inspirational. It has a lot of references, but not like current what's going on there. So in that sense, London became my inspiration. And it was the right place and the right time and the right moment where I was like, oh wow, this is happening. I was new to it, and I enjoyed it, I embraced it, I went through it. To answer to your second question, in terms of like Nigerian fashion in 10 years' time and how I see it internationally, I think it's very, very important, but I wouldn't place it as a Nigerian. I wouldn't place it as a Nigerian fashion. Right now, fashion is fashion, and it doesn't belong to. It belongs to people. Countries are tending, with everything that's happening recently, worldwide and politically wise, I think there is a very strong movement that tends back to the people. So if you're Nigerian, if you're Greek, if you are Italian, if you are, from any place in the world, you can represent your culture, you can be inspired by it, but you have to take it further and you have to do amazing things. And I think in that sense, I can see amazing Nigerian people doing amazing things internationally.
I mean, the same. I think the exact same.
Okay, great. Let's take a couple more questions.
Hello, Anna. Hi, it's Stavros. Sorry, my name is Henry, and my question is actually for the both of you. Currently, are you guys working with any Nigerian designer? And if no, do you have any plan in working with any in the future?
Working with any Nigerian?
Yeah, they answered that, but go ahead.
Not at the moment, but we basically, for us to be able to work, because, I have seen amazing works from like some amazing designers like Kenneth Ise and, and the ones we saw yesterday. Yes, yeah.
Great project.
So there are, and sorry, I don't like to be, just naming a few, because then it's not fair for the rest, and I'm sure I can see way more and more and more. But I'm a member of the committee for the International Fashion Showcase in UK, where basically what we do is, there is submissions every year, from different countries worldwide, where we see, where basically, they have the featuring about 3 to 4 emerging designers there, plus a curatorial project basically, which sits, and then they're getting awarded. And from that platform, I see a lot of creative talent. But to answer to your question, we have to come here. We have to see, we have to interact before we start this type of relationship. And now, because we done this, thanks to GTBank, we are going to start doing it, in the most amazing way, and try to be as representative as possible.
Also, we're also always open for submissions, so you can find our contact information on our Instagram. If you have brands that you think would be good, or whenever we can, we'll try and give advice to people who are growing a brand. Please feel free to contact us. We'll always be open for that.
Absolutely.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
My question is for both of you.
What's your name, love?
Kenny Rhodes.
All right.
Yeah. I'm an upcoming designer, and I want to know more about working with a stylist.
You want to know more about working with stylists, like how to find stylists?
That's a good one.
I mean, I think the relationship between a designer and a stylist is a very important one, and it's very different with each designer what happens, but a stylist can really help you kind of edit your collection. They can help you source items and accessories that will enhance your vision and elevate it and help you with casting, help you with culture, things that are going on. So, I mean, it's a hugely important relationship, I would say. So I'm sure if you use Instagram, again, it's such an amazing place for finding people and finding collaborators that you can work with. So I'm sure there's amazing stylists out here that you can work with.
2 more questions. I lost count of how many questions I said we had left, but only 2 more. 2 more.
Hello.
Yeah.
My name is Yemi, and recently I was talking to a friend about how technology has influenced fashion. So I want to ask, how do you think technology has influenced fashion, and how have you been able to use social media to groom your brand, and basically technology and social media?
I mean, I think technology's just totally changed the face of fashion, right? And how we work, and still continues to, like every month there's some new app or new thing coming out that we can work with. And for me, the best bit about it has been being able to access and discover designers and photographers and stylists from around the world. Yep. I think it's an amazing opportunity to be able to find and work with people that you would never have known about, never have met. So in that way, it's incredible, but obviously it's great for sales as well.
Absolutely. I mean, technology, you know, it's, as I say, I mean, social media, everything it has to do, it's a weapon. And, you know, it's something, well, weapon is the right word, but, you know, it's something that you can use, you know, for your own benefit, and the way, it's a tool. Tool is a really good word. Yeah, tool, sorry. So it's a tool. So you can use it in the best possible way to have the right results. However, and this is a very big thing that Anna, I know, feels extremely strongly about, I feel strongly about as well, is that people should not become obsessed with social media. You cannot let this affect you in any possible way about popularity, about, you know, likes, about everything. It's that type of system, but, you know, try like actually, you know, to use it as a great platform for research, for putting out there your work, to communicate and contact and create that amazing network. But don't let it, you know, affect you in any other ways, because that's all not what it counts in life, for sure.
Definitely.
Well, wise words there. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I see all your hands, but we can't take any more questions. What I will advise, though, is you find them both on Instagram and maybe send them a message, check out the work they do, and, you know, continue with your hustle. Stavros, Anna, any last words?
Yeah, I would just say something that I think is so important. Fashion tends to be like a very, very competitive industry, but I never see success grow faster than when people support each other. It's so important to support your peers, help each other through it, grow together. Everything is going to work out so much better. Like, don't get competitive. It's not good.
This is
love,
how we do it. Supporting each other, always.
Well said.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Thank you all for coming. It's been awesome. Thank you both. Let's go backstage and I'll ask you my own questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen.